What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Roots. So I'm going to review the debut album by American rap group Facemob. Basically, this product is called The Other Side of the Law, and it came out in the summer of 1996. So within the fare behind it pitches like that, this is what Scarface was up to in the interim between The Diary from 1994 and The Untouchable from 1997. It's kind of within the pitch as far as saying. Now within the product, the only unfortunate thing about this product, this is going to get a clean sweep of a 10 out of 10 within these aspects here, but it's just kind of pitch as far as saying the unfortunate thing is seemingly Scarface is really only on one song on this particular album as far as these fares going to happen. Now considering the fact that the rest of this group does pretty well within these pitches, within these aspects as far as these tones going to happen, but it would have been nice for Scarface to have popped up and promoted this product. I want to say more or less there's not really a single. The most popular song off this album according to Spotify is the song Tales from the Hood, which is a song that Scarface is on within these pitches. Which Tales from the Hood is the song Scarface is on within these pitches, but the song Rivals also appeared on like the original Gangstas, the soundtrack as far as those first episodes within the pitch. Really, this is a greasy type product, definitely like the ordeal behind it. It's basically just like a Scarface type album circa 1994 with the Diary pitches like that, that same sort of haunting aesthetic pitches like that, just a little bit more neighborhood crawls and not the full bound as much as they Taco Bell runs, but just kind of missed the pitch of probably within that relative marketplace of just hella swishers nearby, some of that Houston, Texas type fare within pitches like that. It's that product of this summer shine and just like the night weavings, pretty much probably between like standard fare between like June and November, some of those type of aspects, just to miss the frolic of it within those aspects. You know, this came out at a time where this was right before Tupac's September 96 death as far as those fares happen, so it's missed the pitch as far as saying this is some products within these fares, not to say Tupac is on here, but it's just kind of the pitch that this was one of the last pockets where things were kind of within a relative normal type sense within 90s rap type formats. It's kind of the pitch as far as saying, but this is a pretty brilliant type offshoot to get here within these fares as far as these pitch kind of happen. I do thoroughly kind of feel like this product probably should have had a single within some of these type formats, just something that could have promoted this group a little bit further within these aspects. Now, particularly back in these days, it was just kind of the fair as far as saying that it was kind of here and there when you put your group on. I mean, from what I remember, Tupac with Thug Life Volume 1 from 1994, I want to say that had at least a single or two pitches like that, but it's kind of the ordeal as far as saying around those particular times. It's not like as full bound like it was in like, you know, when you think of like the G-Unit album by 50 Cent in 2003 or the D12 album with Eminem in 2001, some of those type pitches. It's not like they couldn't do those particular type things, but it's just kind of the pitch. It is pretty grandiose that this even came out in the first place, but it's just kind of the fair as far as saying it's just kind of the concept of whether or not what the promotion would have kind of been. Because Scarface, although it was excellent after separating from Ghetto Boys pitches like that, all of these albums that I reviewed within these, I think this is one of the last ones I have to get to of Scarface lore from the 90s. This one, reviewing this one, and then My Homies from 1998, and then I've reviewed everything by Scarface from the 90s as far as these first albums. But it's just within the pitch as far as saying around these particular times, Scarface was more of a gold selling artist more so than platinum within the pitch. So it's kind of the factoid that he was picked up on the charts, but it wasn't like as large as like MC Hammer and Warren G and Snoop Dogg and Tupac and some of those folks in the pitch as far as those first albums. But still excellent within the ordeal. Excellent fair that this album came out, so it's just going to pitch as far as saying. So yeah, just to say within the snappiness of this album, I recommend all 10 songs that are songs on here as far as these pitches kind of happen. Just being able to say within these products that particular fair about it, and yeah, I would pretty much say this within the fair pretty much is just like Taco Bell and Arby's kind of runs pitch like that. Wendy's kind of throwing in some of these type of aspects, Burger King, just nearby spots to kind of have like the food product and just park visits, some of those type of ordeals to just street light kind of smoking within aspects. Not really this full bound kind of house product. That's one thing this album kind of lacked in the sense it's a little bit more on a mission within the products of it. It's not to say full bound like that, but it kind of has a little bit more bustle. I mean, it's a lazy bustle. You've got the smokes in your system within these fares, but it has the product of having like the tone of just hopping towards like getting in motion and having some tasks wrapped up as far as the fare. I'm trying to think if Scarface had that many house party songs. It seemed like he didn't really have that many house party songs like that. I mean, this very much has the drugstore runs, the newspaper runs, some of those type pitches within the aspects as far as this album fair kind of happens with this kind of the tone as far as saying, but amidst the product is something to kind of listen to once it's like a Friday, Saturday night, or Thursday night, some of those type of appeals within those products of getting the hood rats or the standard beezies and positive floozy type women within aspects as far as like the nearby kind of commotion about it. It's just kind of fair as far as saying just the aspect is it's a good type product, but it's just not really for like the standard kind of at ease kind of commotion about it. This isn't, yeah, just to say it's not an at ease type product. So it's just the fair as far as saying, but very much has the motion. Probably the closest thing to what I would suppose about social chatter about this product would be either like smoking at the park type fair, or just the product of just red cups under like the street light, just Bacardi dark and some side things, just outdoors pitches like that near like a driveway or just cars outside and like the street, some of those type pitches within those fairs. So it's kind of missed the product, but I look after it. So the most popular song according to Spotify is Tales from the Hood. This is seemingly one of the few type ones that has Scarface on here. If he is on more of these type of songs, I did listen to this the aspect of this album within the aspect behind these tones, but this kind of pitch as far as saying, I know Devin the Dude is at least on here a series of times. It's dope that he's part of this particular fair because this is Devin the Dude dropped his debut album in 1998, so some good type products to pick up, like some extra Devin the Dude type fare within these pitches, but then also just within the product of it, on top of all the other folks within like the product, just felt like maybe Scarface wasn't on here as full bound. But look at them pitch. Tales from the Hood does have Scarface on here. There's like a vintage kind of leery Scarface vibe it's gonna get within these tones. Definitely feels like a diary leftover from '94 pitch like that. Just a shrill kind of snack run stones type products. So just kind of the aspect of like something within those fairs. Just getting like an extra treat and goodie within those fairs, like the product of just being familiar with the Diary album from 1994, so those type hits, but just in a more recent type product within those aspects. It's easy going to talk about run, picking up gorditas, quesadillas, some of those type aspects, some of those type tones. Great song to blaze to within these pitches behind it. It's you and a homie or two pitches like that within these ordeals, just having a good smoke type product as far as this fair's going to go. Just easy kind of just in between type sessions, some of those type fairs within the aspect behind it. Typical type realms kind of get things done within those fairs. So just to miss the fair, just typical type fat. The song only got to 500,000 plays, so this is a very kind of uncommonplace type album within these aspects. It's kind of the fair as far as saying that it has its popularity about it, but I think for the most part this probably slipped behind. I definitely think this slipped behind enough folks' radar as far as these pitch can happen. It's kind of a relatively, I mean, Scarface nowadays is especially more here and there within the pitch, just because probably to this day his most popular song is probably a song with Tupac. This as one of the last songs that he did before his passing, so it's kind of the pitch as far as saying Scarface didn't really get like the number ones, the number threes. Scarface didn't really get the number ones, the number threes, the number eights, some of those I pitched within the format, so it's kind of fair as far as talking about that. But I look after the pitch, good type song, Tales from the Hood. Some of these other type ones, Millions is a nice one on here as well. It's like a jury kind of slummish, keep your head up type vibes within the pitch behind it. This mellow kind of air and run and extra passage. So it's just kind of the format. Decent commerce type one within the pitch. It's kind of some just ghetto and slummish type product within the aspect, just like the get around. But it's just kind of the fair that I definitely feel like it feels like extra time because it's just kind of the pitch of just driving around when necessarily you may not as full bound kind of have to, just kind of the pitch of just driving around for the hell of it or just trying to find something to do within a relative hopeless type sense in the aspects for those tones going to happen. Basically more or less just kind of wasting gas money type music within the pitch behind it as far as those first going to happen. Not to say it's full bound as if it'd be that to severe degree of pointless, but just kind of the pitch of this. Feels kind of extracurricular with some of those type formats, just kind of day drifting pitches like that, just kind of slummish type fashion, but just I like the jury type appeal. There are some ones on here that have some of that particular fare, very much within the fashion, like the vibes when you think of Tupac type fare, when you pay attention to the pitch of songs like Keep Your Head Up and like other songs within those fashions, probably some of those more mellow type ones off of Me Against the World, songs type fare, trying to think of a few other type ones, but when my homies call some of these type pitches just within the fair, it just also kind of gives off vibes like the Ghetto by Too Short, some of those type aspects. So this kind of pitch has West Coast type flavor, but it's just missed the pitch like some mellow kind of ness about it. Bank robbery spruces things back up. This is an excellent type one. It's like a dope factory kind of night shift work at hand to kind of get to within these fairs here. Just lazy but forward, I'd say, within the pitch behind it. So just probably some smokers nearby, just pitches like that. Definite nice one to smoke one too and just kind of hop to it as far as those fairs going to happen. So there's a series of these songs. Like I feel like Bank Robbery, Black Woman, In the Flesh, some of these type ones, and probably the Coldest are just some aspects that miss the product of like clear. The aspect about this album is it does have some fares as far as like amidst like the night shift kind of hustle, so it's very much I like the Demon Time type commonplace about it as far as like the aspect of where it doesn't have as much a full bound kind of horrorcore type tone like the Diary did from '94 and not quite as city strut type fashions within like typical hop and bop of like The World Is Yours by Scarface from '93, but it's kind of the pitch as far as saying it just has the product to just like alright, time to get towards some of these type motions. If you do work amidst like the graveyard shift, some of those type products that just like the standard tasks and things that miss that product. So it very much has the out and around as far as like an active kind of passage with what's going on within the products of what goes on in like the night shift. Same thing can be said about Black Woman. This is like a grand late shift kind of creeping to kind of get to here. It's like some vintage kind of 90s Scarface flavor, I'd say, just kind of amidst like the night bustle, good hit to kind of have within these products. So all these just kind of have the fair just wide awake, just like the fashion. I mean, it's kind of within the fair. I say wide awake, but the pitch behind it. I say wide awake, but it does have the fashion being pretty keyed and just feeling right as far as those pitches are going to happen and miss the tone as far as those products going to happen. So just good type fair. Respect Rude is a nice one as well. It's like a frolic kind of puff of day blear to kind of get within the aspects. This goes along with Millions, but not quite as full bound jury. Just kind of some slummish makeshift going. So I'd say within the pitch behind it, it's like a relative radio grab. This song could have had a lot more appeal. This would have been a decent choice for like a single, something like that, if it would have had just a better hook. If they could have recruited like some of Tupac's affiliates like Val Young or someone one of those type pitches, like Danny Boy, some of those type folks that did kind of more low-key type hooks for Tupac back on All Eyes on Me and some of those type pitches. Some of those particular type folks that were kind of on like Dog Food from 1995 and All Eyes on Me from 96. But I think within the fair, I don't know if I wouldn't have wanted Scarface to kind of overstep the boundaries, but it's kind of within the pitch as far as saying just the product of him getting towards some sort of hook type fashion within those products as far as getting towards that sort of thing. But I would definitely say respect. Rude has the composition of being a decent single within more of like a day shift type fashion, kind of like a Bleary kind of Tupac and Too Short type sense, but just minus like a Mammoth kind of hook as far as those fairs going to happen. Other than that, it's ready for it. The Coldest is a quality one as well. It's another one that goes along with Black Woman, Bank Robbery, In the Flesh, some of these type ones. The Coldest is like a shimmering, kind of good stoned early evening getting into night fair. I'd say within the products over here, just kind of a rugged flip mode. So this is kind of pitch. Probably more the product of easily like 6:30, 6:45 pitches like that, 7:30 pitch. Some of those particular type fairs just missed the product of done with work shifts, something like that standard day fair, but just like, alright, pass you kind of done with work fair, but pass you some gloves, pitches like that, time to hop to like the next product as far as those pitches kind of happen, just to miss the fair, getting towards like the aspect behind it as far as those pitches kind of go. So it's more miss the product of getting towards like the night shift type fair and pitches like that. Kind of the aspect of like early kind of excitement. I mean, so this is some particularly kind of exhilarating type fair, just the pitch. It just kind of has like a more malaise type fashion, not so much malaise, but more within the fashion of this. It's just kind of stony amongst the passage of like as things start to heat up. So it's kind of fashion that just kind of the turn up kind of happens in a more passive type sense, but it's pretty catchy and infectious as far as those fairs going to go. Rivals is a nice one as well. It's like a City Strut and Day Relief from Muzak, I'd say, within the products over here. This is another nice choice for like the relative type fair, something that probably could have been like at least a buzz single, something like that. It's kind of like a drugstore run, newspaper and beer pickup as far as those fairs going to happen. So just to miss the fair, getting some of those standard errands done, picking up, like figuring out what's going on, and like the world pitch like that, cold beer, something like that, ice cold. This says the like relief of things. This feels more like Scarface from 93 and 91 with like The World Is Yours and Mr. Scarface's backstones type pitches. Just more with Facemob on there as far as these pitches can happen. So dismiss the pitch as far as getting towards that particular product. This excellent drugstore type music within the tone, and this standard errand task just within the day shift kind of city struts. Get some frolic going and get the errands done, bills paid, some type products of just day sunshine within a relative type aspect. I don't think I've talked about In the Flesh either. In the Flesh is a nice one. In the Flesh is like a twinkling, kind of nice streetlight haze kind of get within the products of it here. Just some swishers nearby or in your ears, some of those type products easily within the excellence. Get some Wendy's, some of those type pitches just within the routine of it. I mean, I could say talk about 50, 100 times some of those type pitches, but it's the fair action type products. Wendy's or Subway, Quiznos, some of those type products within the aspect. Just homies, kind of park conduct, some of those type fairs. Kind of a more social type one. This is one of those type ones that has like the blaze type fashion behind it. I mean, most of the sounds pretty smoke centric within the excellence of it, but it's just kind of fair as far as saying within these particular type ones. Something a little bit more designated where it's not so much mission mode in my something recreational in mind where it's not as much mission mode within these products as far as these pitch gaps. And dismiss the product. Definitely type fair. It goes with Tales from the Hood pretty excellently within these pitches. Bank Robbery kind of within the fair, even though some of those type ones are more productive. It's just kind of pitch like some in-between kind of breathers, maybe like an easy kind of Thursday before Friday and Saturday where there's some work mode kind of turn up within the factions. But this, the centricness, it is pretty, some excellent kind of loud pack for like a good while amidst like the hours past like 5:30, 6:30 p.m. pitches like that. Good type product. Stay True is a pretty good standout on here as well. Scarface should have definitely been on here. Stay True is a pretty vicious type one. Good standout on here as far as these pairs going to happen. Definitely good banging type one. It's like a glazed kind of nice bass guitar, kind of syrupy day after hours piece, I'd say, within the products of it here. Just from the aspect, just some sedate kind of night flip mode, I'd have to say here. Pretty hot type one. So kind of the chill type fashion, like the same chill type fashion of a good portion of this album, just within the aspect of just like getting towards the product of like what's going to happen. This one's probably another recreational type one. This one goes more in common with In the Flesh, I'd say, but it's just kind of the product of like some Stay True is like a good embrace. This is probably like a closer type one within a house party type appeal, I'd say, within the products. It's probably the fair of once things at like the park get boring, some type products are like In the Flesh, some side tones. It's kind of a product of just like a kind of real days type one, just taken aback within those products as far as something to kind of sit down to within those relative type fairs. Just have like DVD movie on or some of those type products within the aspect, just like standard passage, just kind of a glazed cool cat type vibe, something that would kind of be strip club bound pitches like that, but just more homebound residential within those pitches. So it just kind of has the factor, but some good product like the night wind pitches like that within those fairs. Just kind of miss like the outdoor type fashion. So this probably the closest thing to Red Cup type music on here as far as these fairs go, but just good type ordeals. Yeah, it goes along with In the Flesh and some of those type ones. It goes along with In the Flesh and Tales from the Hood. I'd say just more indoor bound. So look within the aspect. And there's another song I haven't talked about on here, which I think is The Other Side. So The Other Side's like a day drift, kind of reminds of like Dog Pound and Tupac, kind of head in the clouds, kind of daydream, kind of rumination as far as these spirits going to happen. So easily like the Dog Pound when you think of a song like I Don't Like to Dream About Getting Paid, and Tupac with like a song probably like Picture Me Rolling or one of those type ones that he would have done. Something within that relative type fashion, and just a real dreary type one with the aspect just within those particular tones. So just good type fashion, but just kind of miss like the passage behind it. Pretty similar to Millions, pretty similar to like Respect, Roots, and those type of appeals. So I do like the kind of cloudy aspect amongst this album, just really amongst like a just complete cloud type day. It's really kind of puffy and bleary within those aspects as far as those tones going to happen. Just miss the pitch. Just definitely within the fare of like an extra side of this album. So it's just within the pitch as far as saying just that particular kind of after hours kind of day strut within those pitches as far as those tones going to happen. So it kind of switches between some of these type ones that are past 6:30 p.m. like a good portion of this album, then mixed in within some of these type ones that are just good for like leftover kind of city strut type vibes, and like the pitch of just like some fare within the commerce type aspect of just standard kind of air and runs and some of those type products within the tone behind it. So it just kind of has that particular pitch behind it. Look after here, just particularly good excellent rumination type one, just some good type products. Says Allen gets a 10 out of 10 within these fares. Social score is going to get probably like a 9.5 out of 10. I look within the fare, it does have these quality ones, easily getting like some good 4 for 4 type meals at Wendy's. Some of these type products getting some excellent type grabs and things like that. Some grub, some smoke type product, easily hell swishers and blunt wraps. Some of those type aspects from the tones as far as these pitch kind of go. Some good ice cold kind of drinks. Some of those type fares just to miss like the aspect like some streetlight type fare and just neighborhood struts. Some of those type aspects just to miss the passage of just kind of gallivants within the neighborhood type fashion amidst the product of also like some good night hustle and pitches like that. So it has the product getting some things done within the fair if you do have some graveyard shift type things to do past 6:30, 7 o'clock when the sun sets on type pitches, and then it has like the city strut, drugstore type runs, and like makeshift kind of commerce thrown in. Just the fact that it didn't have a single, seemingly Scarface isn't on here often enough, so it's within those pitches as far as saying, but it does have the good type fashion, just probably need a little bit more promotion. It's a 9.5 social, so in terms of the future, like, Facemob did drop another album. Not sure if Scarface is full bound on that one, but they dropped another album in 2002, so I'm going to get to that one down the road as far as these first going to happen. But yeah, this is a classic here, very underappreciated, kind of off the wayside. Just an extra treat if you fuck with Scarface. Has some good fun type thrills on here, just an excellent offshoot and really nails the appeal, and it's just overall banging.